You spend 20 minutes perfecting a complex AI prompt. You finally get the tone and structure exactly right. Then you bury it inside a messy notes application. You lose 5 hours every week just searching around. It is a massive silent productivity leak.
Yeah, it really is.
Welcome to today's deep dive. We are exploring a brilliant March 2026 guide by Max Ann. He wrote this comprehensive framework about automating AI prompts. Our mission today is closing your prompt graveyard permanently. We are going to turn your operating system into a lightning-fast prompt teleporter. Okay, let's unpack this fascinating concept together.
We are using a powerful tool called Raycast to achieve this. It completely solves that frustrating friction of daily copy-pasting. You are never going to hunt for a lost prompt again. It literally changes how you interact with your computer.
Let's start with the emotional core of this problem. Heavy AI users leak massive amounts of time daily. They spend 90-plus seconds just digging through old digital files. They're constantly searching for documents named prompts, final version 2. It completely shatters your delicate creative flow state. The human brain simply hates that kind of context switching.
It really destroys your momentum entirely. You build up this massive library of useful AI instructions. You have prompts for coding, writing, and deep data analysis. But retrieving those instructions becomes a huge bottleneck for your workflow. The friction of finding the tool outweighs the tool's benefit. That is exactly why we need a system-wide text expander.
I have to make a vulnerable admission right here. I'll be honest, I still wrestle with a chaotic Google Doc full of prompt drift myself. I mean, half the time I just rewrite the complex prompt from scratch entirely. It somehow feels faster than searching through page 40 of my own notes.
That is incredibly common for most power users today. We rely on memory rather than building a proper system. But with a text expander, you bypass that memory tax completely. A text expander is a tool replacing short-type shortcuts with longer saved text automatically.
You just type a simple 5-character trigger code on your keyboard. Then hundreds of complex words instantly appear directly on your screen. You do not have to switch between applications ever again. That feels like a profound shift in human-computer interaction. You are basically reducing the distance between your thought and the execution. Productivity improves dramatically when repeated typing just disappears completely.
Right. Automation always works best when it removes those tiny repeated steps.
So it just watches my keystrokes to save time.
Exactly. Typing a short code instantly pastes your full saved prompt.
Now let's talk about why we use Raycast specifically for this. There are certainly plenty of other productivity tools out there. People have been using various clipboard managers for over a decade, but Raycast is a completely free and system-wide application. The 2026 update brought full feature parity to Windows users.
That Windows update was a massive cultural shift for the industry. It made high-level automation accessible to basically everyone working today. It includes native run commands and HTML snippet injection now.
Wait, let's slow down for the non-coders listening right now.
Yeah.
What exactly is HTML snippet injection in this context?
It means inserting formatted web code directly without breaking original styling. It allows your text to look perfectly polished instantly. It is a completely viable alternative to the Mac version now.
How does this system compare to typical browser extensions today? People have been using tools like TextBlaze for several years. I know a lot of users rely heavily on those extensions.
Browser extensions kind of force you into using specific web browsers exclusively. They trap your productivity inside a single application window. They also cap you at around 2,500 characters usually.
Yeah, that is a huge problem for those massive system prompts. We write prompts now that are essentially small software programs.
Exactly. Raycast runs natively across your entire operating system instead. It works perfectly inside ChatGPT, Claude, Slack, and your terminal.
Getting this tool running is a surprisingly quick setup process. You skip the complex configurations usually required by developer tools. You just download it from raycast.com easily. But you have to grant it one very specific system permission. It absolutely needs the accessibility permission to function properly on your machine.
Without that accessibility permission, the snippets feature simply will not work. It has to detect your typing in real time across apps. You also want to enable the launch at login setting immediately. That ensures the tool is always running quietly in the background.
Right.
Turning on compact mode also keeps the visual interface really clean.
2-sec silence.
Huh.
Why does the app need accessibility permissions?
It needs to read your keystrokes to know exactly when to trigger.
That brings us to actual snippet creation and the fundamental rules. When you open the creator, it is actually remarkably simple. You just see 3 basic fields waiting for your input. You need a name, the content, and a keyword trigger. The name is really just a clear label for your own reference.
The content is where you paste your entire detailed AI prompt. But the keyword rule is absolutely crucial to your long-term success. You must never use normal everyday words as your text triggers.
If your keyword is just the word blog, things get very messy. A huge, detailed writing prompt will explode into your casual Slack messages.
It will trigger in personal emails and random documents by accident. You have to prefix your keyword with a special, unique symbol. Using a simple $ before the word works perfectly here. You type $blog to trigger that specific prompt safely.
This keeps your triggers completely isolated from accidental workplace collisions.
There is also a critical insight from the recent 2026 update. Raycast introduced something called dynamic placeholders for your stored prompts. This is their unfair advantage over every other productivity tool today. You can set up your prompts using special bracketed tags.
This is where it gets really interesting for power users. You can drop a cursor tag directly into the stored text. It drops your cursor exactly where you need to type the context.
Right, and there is also a clipboard tag to auto-ingest your copied text. So you aren't just pasting static, unchanging blocks of text anymore. You are dynamically injecting whatever you just copied into the prompt. It is like stacking Lego blocks of data on the fly.
You build that foundational structure only once. You can swap out the individual context pieces infinitely after that.
Yeah.
That is exactly how power users are building their modern workflows.
Yeah, you dynamically assemble complex instructions without moving your hands around.
Beep, beep. What happens if I forget that $ prefix?
Every time you type the word, a massive prompt explodes accidentally.
Now for a quick word from our sponsor.
We really need to explore the Clipboard History teleporter workflow next. This feels like a massive conceptual upgrade for capturing new AI prompts.
Raycast saves everything copied to your clipboard over the last 24 hours automatically.
This creates an incredibly powerful 5-second capturing workflow for you. You never have to manually log your successful experiments again. You generate a truly great prompt inside ChatGPT or Claude. You click the copy button provided by the AI chat interface. Then you press Option and Space to open your Raycast window.
You find that copied text right inside your persistent clipboard history. Then you just click the action to save it as a snippet. You assign a simple $ keyword to that specific text. You do not even have to open a new Google Doc.
The friction of documentation is essentially reduced to absolute zero. It is permanently saved and accessible in under 1 single second. You can use it in any application on your computer forever.
This is especially life-saving for those incredibly complex image generation prompts. Image prompts are always so notoriously difficult to remember and recreate. You finally get the perfect cinematic lighting and specific camera angle parameters. You tweak the aspect ratio and the artistic style for 20 minutes, then you accidentally close the browser tab and lose that structure completely.
Yeah, that happens to everyone.
2-sec silence. Whoa. Imagine capturing every perfect AI output instantly. You do this without ever opening another document or notes app.
It completely changes how you manage your daily creative ideas entirely. The genuinely good outputs are simply never lost to the void again. You stop fearing that you will forget your best, most creative instructions.
So I don't even need to write the snippet manually.
Right, you just save whatever you recently copied directly into the system.
Over time, this personal snippet library becomes a massive digital goldmine. But you really have to actively keep your prompt library clean. Without proper structural hygiene, the whole system just turns into chaotic clutter.
You absolutely should review your snippet library on a regular scheduled basis. Delete the dead prompts that you haven't actually used in several months. Dead prompts just add frustrating visual noise when you search around daily. You want your system to be lean, fast, and highly relevant.
The guide mentions a very specific rule for editing existing prompts. You must always duplicate a working prompt before you attempt to edit it. That prevents you from breaking your established daily workflow entirely.
You want to experiment without destroying a complex prompt that already works reliably. Clear naming conventions are also extremely important to implement early on. They stop your short trigger keywords from accidentally clashing with each other. Group your saved prompts by the specific tool or the intended task.
You might use $GM-research for a Gemini prompt. That completely separates it from $8-blog for Claude content. The guide gives some highly actionable advice for overwhelmed new users. You should really start small and just build 3 snippets today.
Make one specific snippet for drafting your daily professional emails quickly. Make another one for generating fast document summaries from long reports. Make the third one for getting constructive feedback on your ongoing projects. Do not try to build 50 different snippets on your very first day.
The core advantage here is the massive compounding speed boost achieved. It involves absolutely zero context switching during your busy, fragmented workday. It works seamlessly everywhere from Slack to Notion to Chrome. You never have to break your deep creative flow state ever again. Beat. Why start with only 3 snippets?
It builds the habit naturally without overwhelming your daily workflow.
Let's take a moment to really recap the big idea here. In 2026, writing the actual AI prompts is not the real bottleneck anymore. We have incredible AI tools that actively help us write the instructions now. The actual bottleneck we face daily is our prompt retrieval speed.
Document-based storage always requires switching between different applications constantly throughout the day. Memorizing complex prompts requires way too much daily cognitive mental load. Snippets completely eliminate this friction by inserting text directly where you already type.
Using system-wide snippets fundamentally turns your operating system into an external hard drive. It literally becomes an external hard drive for your personal AI expertise. Every single good instruction you create becomes instantly accessible forever. We highly encourage you to download Raycast to your computer today.
Take 10 uninterrupted minutes to set up your first 3 snippet triggers. Experience how much faster your entire digital workflow becomes almost immediately. Stop letting your valuable, hard-earned productivity leak out drop by single drop.
I want to leave you with a deeply forward-looking thought today. Our operating systems can now instantly teleport our most complex instructions. We only need to use a simple 5-character trigger code to do this. How long until the OS itself starts anticipating the exact prompt we need, expanding our thoughts before we even touch the keyboard?